Jesus, in speaking to his disciples today, tells them not to be afraid of anyone on this earth, not to be afraid of the Pharisees or anyone who has earthly power over them. Why? Because they have a relationship with God who knows them intimately. He says he knows even the number of hairs on your head. And he says, are not 2 sparrows sold for 5 coins? He says, God knows those sparrows intimately, and you are worth more than many sparrows. He's saying all this because this is what God desires from us, is this intimate relationship. As I prepared couples for marriage, I usually ask them a lot of different questions about their relationship. And one thing I'll ask is, why do you want to get married to this person? I ask both of the spouses this question. Why do you want to get married to this person? And some of the most beautiful answers will come out something like this. This person knows my faults, my deepest wounds. This person knows what I'm like on my bad days and on my good days, but they still love me all the same. And when I look to the future, even though there's a lot of uncertainty there, I feel safe because I know I'm with this person. This is the kind of intimacy, and even greater, that God longs for with each of us. It's the kind of intimacy that he comes toward us with, that he knows us so intimately, and he longs to have reciprocated. And it's the kind of relationship that Teresa of Avila, the saint that we celebrate today, had with God. She was a Carmelite nun living during the 1500s, and she had this spousal union with God. This union that was greater than just a servile fear of God, doing things out of duty or out of service. More than even friendship with God, doing things to please God, to grow that friendship with him, but rather a deep and abiding intimacy of knowing God and God knowing her. And it's that intimacy with God that made her fearless in all that she did. Fearless enough to go forth and reform the Carmelite order in which she was a part, and against a lot of opposition from others in her own order, from worldly powers. In a lot of ways there was opposition to that, but she had no fear because she knew where she was grounded, in that deep and abiding relationship with God the Father. So this kind of intimacy with God might sound a little bit scary, and I think rightfully so, because when we know God so intimately, it changes our world. But it is not something to be feared, but rather something that is going to give us what the deepest longing of our heart really wants, and that is God himself. So perhaps our prayer today can be to ask the Lord to make us not so afraid of coming toward him in this way, to be more intimate with him, to really reveal our hearts and even the worst parts of ourselves to him in prayer, because he already knows, and he loves us all the same.